I recently moved to Canada where I was able to start my business and I was able to gain, reasonable visibility within 5 months. Yes, you heard me right. 5 months. And I want to be sharing with you how I was able to do that because I get to be asked a lot. I'm so glad I am an inspiration to people around me, and people get to ask me a lot. Oh, Bukola, how did you do it? How are you doing it? There are no magic. It's just your mindset. Mindset. There are a few things that I believe that I know helped me. Number one is my mindset. Number two is my why. Why I am doing what I'm doing. Why I am in business. And I so much believe in what I'm doing. And I so much believe in myself. Before I left to Canada, I did my research. You want to travel, you call friends, you call families. So you ask people how things are, where you're going to, how things, ask people, oh, how are things in Canada? How is business? Is business good in Canada? How is this particular thing? I just try to do my research, the normal basic research that we do. We ask questions, because we're moving to a new place. I get to, I had favorable responses and I had some unfavorable responses. But guess what? I only picked the favorable responses. I had people told me, oh, business doesn't move in Canada. People don't buy clothes. They don't dress well, and all that, which is not their fault. But imagine if I had based my action on what they say or what they said, I wouldn't do anything. But when I got to Canada, let me give you this gist. When I got to Canada, my first day in Canada, I got to Canada 11:30 a.m. By 12:30 p.m., I was already in a mall. Already, I Googled this mall and I booked my Uber, and my Uber took me straight to the mall. In fact, when I got my fourth SIM card when I got to the office and I told them, they were asking me some questions, my time, how long I've been in Canada and all that. And I told them just like an hour ago, I arrived an hour ago. They were surprised. I registered my SIM and I started walking around the mall. Because my mindset is I want to be on the same level with those big brands. I'm not seeing myself like this because you can only achieve what you're thinking. If your thinking is at this level, you can only get to this level. If your thinking is at this level, then you will get to that level. You can never go beyond your thoughts. That is why we have to be very careful what we think. We have to be very careful what we allow in our minds. So I started walking around the mall. And before I left for Canada, I already had my strategies in place to try to infiltrate the system of fashion industry in Canada to know how it is done. However, I would be doing it if it's for me to know what is happening in the industry. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to put in my all, which was what I did. So when I got to Canada, I registered my SIM. I walked around the mall. I started that same day. I'm telling you, I started talking to brands in the mall about my own brand, how I can sell my brand in the mall. Because back in Mexico, I have stores selling my brands for me. So the same mindset, I didn't let, what people already said to stop me. I started going to the mall that same day. I started going to the stores. Some I met the owner, some are big companies that they gave me emails address to send emails to and everything. I did all that. I did the first day, second day. The third day, I was in this particular store. I was talking to the cashier about, me selling my brand, who I could talk to or whatever email I could send, this thing to. I was still talking when the district manager passed. I never knew she was the district manager. She passed and she saw a bag I was carrying and she admired the bag. Oh, I love your bag. It's so nice. And we got talking and I said, oh, it's my brand. And she was like, wow, your brand? I said, yes, my brand. Oh, so nice. And everything. We got talking and it happens that her husband is a Mexican and I lived in Mexico, and that was how we blended. We talked for like few minutes. Then she excused herself because she needed to attend to other people, and she left. So I turned back to the cashier to tell her to give me the email or whoever I needed to talk to about my brand. And she was like, "Oh, that is the district manager. That the person that spoke with you now, that maybe she used the opportunity of the fact that you already had in a conversation. I should go talk to her." As I was going, the spirit told me I need to change my tactics. Instead of me saying I needed them to sell my brand, I'm still new. It might be a bit difficult for them to just accept my brand, you know. That why not work? Meanwhile, I've never worked before. I've never had the reason of dressing up in the morning, going to an office to work. I've always been my own boss. In my 40 years of living, I've always been my boss. While I was going to the lady, I just changed, okay, let me just tell her I needed a job. So that's the only way I can actually, know about the system of fashion in Canada, because it is different. Different countries with different rules, with different regulations, with different things, with different customers. So I told the lady I needed a job. Like, oh yeah, that we have the assistant managing position ready, that they have the style advisor, blah blah blah. But what am I doing here? Am I on, what is my status? I said, oh, I'm a student. I'm doing my master's. Like, oh, that would be part time. Then they cannot give me assistant manager role because they needed a full time. But Gina asked if I would be glad to take the position of style advisor. I said, of course. In fact, the name style advisor even, resonates with me. Like, okay, I love styling, I love fashion. I said, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. I'm ready for it. And she gave me a personal email that she send my resume. Immediately I got to work after I left the store. I got to work. I went to write my resume and prepare my resume, and I sent it to her email. The third day, that was when I was called for an interview. It was exactly a week I got to Canada. Right on the spot, I was offered the job. In fact, I got my job before I started my class, but I could not start the job because I need to start my main reason of going for study, right? So I needed to start my class before I can take up any job. So they needed to hold on. So I had to start my class on the same day I started my job. So I got my job exactly 1 week as a style advisor. After that, when I meet people and I tell them, oh, I'm already working, they're like, working? I've been here for 7 months. I've been here for 6 months. I've been here for this. How come? How did you get the job? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what did you do? One thing I noticed is that a lot of people already have this mindset of it cannot work. They said there is no job in Canada. They said things are not working. They said business doesn't move. They said this, they said that. So people never even tried. That is one thing I noticed. I'm not saying there are people that are trying, but it just still didn't work. But I'm telling you, majority are not even trying. They are just living on rumors. They are living on what people are saying that it is not working. There are no jobs. Oh, they already said that it's difficult to get a job in Canada. So that made me to want to be sharing with people that come. This thing is working. In fact, I had a situation where I met this lady. We had to, we got talking. I followed her to where she printed her resume. I started following her to different stores to be submitting a CV. That was how I was determined to help people. Come, this thing is working. You just need to put in effort. Don't live on what people already said. Don't let it affect you. Change your mindset. Mindset is everything. And that was how I started working. It was my fourth month in Canada that I registered my business. On the 5th month, I started my business. I attended my first event in Canada, business event in Canada. And it was amazing. When I mean amazing, it was amazing. I was ready to start from the bottom. I did not come with, oh, I have a business in Mexico, I am this, I am that. I started from the bottom. Imagine starting from even working. And the truth is, I gained a lot from working. So I had to reduce my hours of working because of my business, because I needed to attend to my business as well. And the company accepted. In fact, my 1 month working with the company, I was awarded the best employee of the month. That is my 1 month. At the end of 3 months, they did this evaluation and they realized revenue from me alone was like over $70,000 or about $60,000. That was when I was like, okay, Bukola, you need to sit up and start your business. But that was not me. Like, that was not the real me, my not working for someone. I want my own business. That was just a stepping stone for me to understand the industry. And I was able to understand the industry. I gained a lot. That even if I have to, even school will not teach me. I got to understand a lot about Canadians, the culture, the people. So when I started my business, oh my God, I was able to understand how to relate with them. I knew how to catch their attention. I knew how to, sell to them. Trust me, there are different ways to sell to different community, to sell to different people, different culture. My Mexican people, I know how to sell to them. My Nigerian people, I know how to sell to them because I learned when I got to Mexico as well. I did not work for anyone, but I had to be going for events. From going for that one, I did a lot of try and error. The experience made me who I am today. That same energy that I took to Canada. So within 5 months, I'm telling you, I've gained a lot of visibility. That there was a particular day at my workplace, I was attending to a lady. She saw I was wearing one of my brand. It's a reversible jacket. She was like, oh, she kept looking at me. She came with her mom and she kept staring at me. I was like, oh, I love your jacket. I said, I could not say it's my brand because it's part of the rule of the company that you cannot sell any other thing, or you cannot talk to customers about other business. Do you understand? Even if it's yours. So I kept saying, oh, thank you, thank you. And she said, oh, she has a friend that has the same jacket that I am wearing. But I could not tell her that it's my brand because it's against the rule of the company. But as God will have it, my assistant manager just came from nowhere and just said, that is our brand. Can I take your picture so I can show my friend? My friend loves that jacket so much. Can I take your picture? I said, of course, yeah, go ahead. And she took my picture. That is visibility. Imagine, she wasn't even the person I sold to. She just knew someone that bought my jacket. That was how I started. I've been to events that maybe I went to another city that they will see me and like, oh, I know your brand. I saw you in social place. That is visibility. I was only able to gain that because of my mindset, because I didn't come with the mindset of people said it would not work. People said, oh, it's difficult in Canada. People said this, people said that. Yeah, things might not be working out as it's supposed to be, but don't let it get into your head because you can only attain your level of thoughts. Your limitation is your thoughts. And my own thought is to be like Gucci, to be like, those big brands. I want to be like them, so I'm not ready to settle for less. I'm not ready to listen to, they said it's not difficult. Okay, it's difficult, but it's not working. How can I make it work? What can I do to make it work? Which is what I did. And that was how I was able to establish my business within 5 months. And I gained visibility within that 5 months. My mindset, my why, because I keep remembering my why. I kept going like a trailer with no break. Where I work, time the owner of the brand came to the store. She was like, I needed to put a face to your name, Bukola. I was able to recommend someone to the workplace that they employed the person the same way they employed me on the spot, but the same thing they did to the lady because of me. That is the power of mindset, because I didn't let what people were saying to get into my head. I didn't let it stop me from trying, and my why is very strong. Most times you often forget ourselves. We often forget our identity. We try to shape ourselves to what the society wants or what people want or what to be comfortable with others. Or don't do that. I was able to achieve my visibility and my brand in Canada within 5 months, and which is just the beginning. So your mindset needs to be changed. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.